Hi peeps, it's
Hi
Knock.
peeps and Ricardo.
And we are
Thinking
Cube.
Cube.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun. We are Thinking Cube, a podcast created by Knock and Ricardo to talk about our journey into becoming better people.
Yeah.
We will talk about how to improve yourself, how to improve your relationships with your family, your friends, and others.
Yeah.
And just generally talking about how to live a more humanly human life.
Last week, episode 1, Where It Begins, part 1. Like, if you haven't heard it, go check it out.
Check it out.
Otherwise, this episode doesn't make sense to you, okay? You gotta go check it out. Last episode, we spoke about our story, who we were as people and who we are right now, you know, our journey to get here. And we're pretty content about our current situation, you know. We have been able to, you know, escape the system and break away from the system, you know, break away from the daily struggles of our life. And you know, we're able to be in a place that we feel liberated, right?
Yeah, liberated.
Very
free,
happy, you know, and content with our daily life.
Yeah, we're happy to be where we are.
Yeah. So, you know, that's kind of like the summary of, you know, last week's episode. But today we want to talk about it in a little bit more depth. Where the changes
Where
begin.
did it all begin?
Yeah, like the first thing we did.
What was the first seed that was planted that got us?
The sweet fruit that we are tasting today. Yummy. ASMR. Nice. Disclaimer again. We're recording outside in nature again, so you know, some more nature noise for you.
Yeah, feel free to enjoy the sounds of the birds and the leaves and the wind.
And the chicken. So, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, let's get into it.
What do you think, Ricardo? Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Are you ready, peeps? Let's get into it, okay? Right. So, Ricardo.
See?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Right. So, how are you today?
Today I'm fine.
You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
I got a more serious question for you.
Okay? Wait, before you ask me that. How are you?
I'm doing good too.
Nice.
I'm hydrated. I'm a little bit tired. I'm a little bit sleepy, but I'm hydrated. Good stuff. Drink water.
Drink water.
Yeah.
Pause this episode. Go drink some water. Come back.
Okay. Pause. Right.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for getting that water for yourself. That's good. So Ricardo, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Last week you told us about your story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were just, you know, your average college boy, right?
Average college boy. Your Chad.
Your average Chad, you know. Your average Carlos. Yeah. And you didn't know what to do with your life, you know. You didn't know what direction to take, and you know what you wanted to do, who you were, you know. You had a lot of confusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's from my point of view. That's what I heard, you know, like a lot of confusion and a lot of unanswered questions.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, like now I feel like you've become somebody who's very, you know, very mature, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad you think.
Yeah. You've become somebody who's very mature, very more responsible, you know. You become you run your business, you know, your tech startup, you know.
All right.
You're achieving that Silicon Valley dreams.
All right.
Okay, not that much, but you know what I mean. Like you have your own project, you know. You have your own aspiration. You're meeting, you know. You have like dreams, and you're meeting them, or at least you're getting there.
Yeah.
You know. So you know what was the first thing, you know, that you did that brought you here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like give us some like context, you know, like give us
Okay.
you know, like your thinking, your mindset during you know that time, and like, you know, the beginning of your journey. Basically, like we want to know about that.
Okay. So let me give you some context before.
Okay.
So let's start at the moment where I lost it all. Right, I was feeling very depressed. I was feeling
Lost what?
where I lost everything. I everything that I thought made me who I am. My job, my education, um, my friends, my relationships, right? Like all these things that I thought defined me. I lost all of these things.
A lot of external factors.
A lot of external factors, right?
Yeah.
So that's when I took a deep look at myself.
A deep look.
Deep look. So deep I had to say it twice.
Yeah.
A deep look.
Hashtag deep look.
Hashtag deep look. And well, I didn't like who I was. I was very selfish. I was disrespectful to others. I didn't have any values. And just generally a bad person. Generally just not caring about anything else, anybody else.
At that time, like if you were like to look at that guy, right? Like would you be friend with him?
I probably would. Well, I probably would like talk to myself, and then I'll be like, oh, this guy's pretty shitty.
So you wouldn't be friends with yourself?
No, I would probably get tired of myself after a short while.
Not right away though.
Not right away, you know. Like at the beginning, it's like, well, that guy's got some nice hair, but
just nice hair.
it's nice.
Nothing
This
else.
guy's too annoying.
Yeah. So I feel like when I scroll through Instagram, or like, Pinterest or whatever, right? There's always these like, inspirational quotes about like, like happiness come from within, and you can't expect to rely on others or like, external factors in general to bring you happiness, right? Like, would you say that you were like that? You were relying on the outside world to bring you inner happiness?
Oh, definitely. I was very reliant upon the external factors to bring my happiness, and it was very bad because I was like never fully in control of what I was doing. I wasn't out there seeking opportunities. I wasn't doing any good. I wanted to be a coder, for example. I wanted to do a lot more programming. That was like always something that I wanted to do, and yet I was doing nothing for it.
Nerd.
What
were you saying?
I wasn't doing anything. Oh my god. I wasn't doing anything for it. I wasn't, looking for opportunities. I wasn't looking to learn more, right? I was very passive towards it.
Just
right?
like whatever.
Just like whatever is like, oh, do I have a class for it now? Like, okay, I'll do that. Like, oh, if I didn't, then I'm like, I don't learn. I don't do anything, right?
But it's something that you're very passionate about.
And that was something I was passionate about, right?
Yeah.
And so it really shows you that like, I was very bad. I wasn't seeking good things for myself.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and I was being irresponsible. Like, I went to college and I thought, I'm not going to drink, I'm not gonna, do anything bad, right? But
really?
yeah, I know.
You really
right?
thought so?
Yeah, I thought so, I was very straight edge before I went to college. But, once presented with the opportunity, then there I was, day drinking. Every day of the week. No, but definitely like that's just one example where I wasn't seeking what was good, and I definitely wasn't moving out of the way when something was bad, right? Like literally, like that's how like influenceable I was, like how not in control, how I didn't have any values and I didn't think
like,
this through,
like
before
you
doing something.
Yeah, you didn't grow like in a good direction because you didn't seek it or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like when bad things come, you also didn't say no.
Exactly.
So
Just
so
like
then
that.
What? Then in the end, like you lost everything, and then you left with yourself.
I'm left with myself, and myself is not even that good. I was like, that was pretty shitty, right?
Yeah.
I was
You
like,
didn't like
wow.
yourself.
I didn't like myself at all. I was like, wow, I'm irresponsible. I don't have passion for the things that I say I'm passionate about. So like, shit, what am I gonna do? How can I change?
Did you feel a little bit like scared for the future?
I was a bit scared for the future because I was like, shit. I mean, I thought it was good. It was okay, just being adrift from whatever life put into your way. But look at me now. I have like nothing now, right? So then I figured, okay, that's not a good.
Something gonna change.
Yeah, something's gotta change. Otherwise, what am I just gonna be like just drown into the ocean, like being washed away, like
yeah, just like wash away
just washed
without
away
any meaning.
without any meaning, just so meaningless.
Yeah.
Life of meaningless. That was my future if I hadn't done anything.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a call for action,
Exactly.
It's like, the moment you feel that suffering, you feel like, like something is not right. I feel like it's like our body is so like a human like life is so like we're built with sensors. For example, like when we get hungry, our stomach rumbles to tell us, hey bro, you're hungry. Or like you're thirsty, you feel you're thirsty.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm feeling quite thirsty.
Oh, me too.
Can you get some water?
No, we cannot.
Okay, we'll finish this and
then we'll get some water. That's dedication right there.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, like humans, like we have indicators to show this. And I feel like unhappiness is like an indicator of like something is wrong,
Yeah.
Like when you feel unhappy, you gotta change something, And I feel like it's not always like external change. Sometimes it's internal change.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's internal change, actually. Because like hearing your story, I feel like, like of course that you had to do some external changes, right? But the most importantly was like your internal,
Yeah.
like your mindset. You gotta change out of like, always letting the bad grow and like letting like and not seeking the good,
Exactly.
Because you end up feeling like quite a shitty person.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yeah. So what did you do?
So I chose to go vegetarian.
Okay, that's interesting. How come?
Climate change is an important factor. I think that is a very pressing issue of our time. I think it's a very real issue and we're all seeing the effects of it, but I don't want to talk too much about it because we've all heard about it. We see it on the news every day. There's like a forest fire going on somewhere. There is, natural disasters left and right because of this. So we don't want to talk about that too much. The cows as well, right? I think
we gotta talk about the cows.
Yeah, let's talk about the cows, right?
Let's talk about the cows. Moo moo.
Moo moo. Oh my God. There is so much cruelty in the meat and the dairy industry.
And you were feeling it.
I was feeling it.
The effects of the cruelty.
I was feeling it, right? Exactly.
You're feeling like you being milked.
Yeah, I'm being milked. I'm one of those cows right there.
You're being
moo,
You're
right?
being stripped of your basic rights.
Yeah, and I.
You're in prison in the cattle house like these cows.
Yeah.
You connected
thrown
to
into
them.
a corral, right, on the train, right, and like put into work or somewhere else, right?
Yeah, you're feeling it. You're feeling the effects of the cruelty.
I was feeling it.
So you feel bad for the cows.
I feel bad for the cows. Poor
you
cows.
Because you were a cow.
Yeah, because I was a cow. Yeah.
You're being milked. Okay.
Well, I know these things, right? But like, what can
course.
I do?
It's
right?
everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's not like I'm Greta Thunberg and I'm just gonna start some activism shit, and change the world, like, and give speeches and things like that, right?
And you couldn't. You had your debts.
Yeah,
and so pay off your debts.
Yeah,
bro.
I gotta pay off my debt. I'm like in a place where I can do nothing, but be vegetarian. Vegan, vegetarian. I can change my diet. I can choose not to eat meat. I can choose, not to, just keep taking lives.
Yeah,
right?
I hear you.
I just can't keep taking lives, right? Something so simple, like, will contribute so much.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
And it contributes especially for yourself too.
Yeah. So something else, something positive impact that I could immediately see in my environment was the fact that because I was vegetarian, because I had to cook for my own, I had to go grocery shopping on my own, and then I realized a few things, right? I was like, oh shit, bread is expensive. I was like,
bread expensive?
Why are these veggies like cost so much? What, and then I would find some great deals, like, oh my god, like 2 pounds of carrots for 60 cents. Oh my god, let me get a bunch of carrots, right? But I definitely realized.
Is this like your first taste of like grocery shopping,
like adult grocery shopping, definitely like
not like chips.
Yeah, not like chips, not like just going to the grocery store with your mom, where she's the one who pays, right? Like when like you're actually using your paycheck to
buy
go
like
out and buy
food for
your
yourself.
food. Yeah, then
Not
then
just
it
chips.
changes perspective, right? You're like, wow, you know what? These potatoes that are already made, they're kind of expensive, but this like 10-pound bag of potatoes, it's like $1. So I guess I'm gonna have to like just peel them and make them myself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it definitely gives me like a bit of perspective on that sense. I also had to cook for myself, right?
Yeah.
And this made me realize like what a burden I was for my mom, you know. Like me and my siblings, right? Like all we do is like come home, right, like from work, and you know, and my mom is always there, and like she cooks for us, and you know, sometimes like we all come at different times, and she'll make like three
Would she-
different meals,
she-
like
she would
three
make-
different times.
No
Yeah.
way, really?
Yeah, and
Damn,
you
you
know,
spoiled.
I'm spoiled, honestly.
My mom wouldn't.
Yeah.
She doesn't even cook.
Mom, if you're hearing this, I love you. Thank you so much.
No, he's speaking Spanish. That's what she does.
Mamá, gracias por todo lo que hace por mí. Gracias, muchas gracias. Definitely, like, you know, she makes so many sacrifices for us, and just that little bit of cooking, of going shopping, right, for groceries, that little bit for me, is a bigger part for me, because like now it's like the one thing about my life that I get to control over, right?
Yeah.
But like this is something that she was doing for all of us,
Yeah.
right?
But you had such a difficult time.
Yeah, and I had such a difficult time doing these like little things that for her, you know, she's
It's
she's
like-
been doing them for years
Yeah.
now.
Like for her,
So
it's
I'm
like,
like,
you know,
damn.
it's automatic.
Yeah.
It's not even like I feel like for you at the time, I remember talking to you and you were like, oh yeah, talking about the carrots and you know, the potatoes and all these things, you know, and you were like, as if it's like something so like huge and big,
Yeah,
and like
like,
you know,
what?
like such like
It's
serious
crazy.
difficulties you're going through.
Yeah, and then apart from this, I had to learn how to cook.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't really know how to cook. I thought I knew how to cook, but then when I was actually cooking for myself, then it's a whole different story, right? You get tired of eating the same thing over and over again.
What do you always make? What do you
Well,
always make?
you know, I know how to make pasta. You know,
Pasta
and
with
I
what?
think just pasta.
But pasta with what? Like with like ready-made marinara sauce or something?
Sure. If any, sure, some marinara ready to made sauce. You know, otherwise just pasta. You know,
With
just,
what though? Just raw?
Just no. I mean, you put some salt and pepper into it, and
But,
like
like,
there
just
you go.
that's it?
That's it. You know, super unhealthy, super bad for you. So no, you know, would definitely recommend to go with healthier alternatives.
you
like
think-
put some carrots into it.
No. So you think you know how to cook because you can make
I
pasta?
thought, you know, that's what I thought. I was like, well, as long as I can survive, but definitely takes more than what it looks like, you know. And then that's something I realized, you know. I would just see my mom like, you know,
Like-
working and
and
then
then move.
coming home and you know whip something out and you know like, oh, it must be easy, right?
Yeah.
But no, it is so much harder. And like once you take that step, right, once you become vegetarian and then maybe you go grocery shopping for yourself and then you start cooking for yourself, you're also gonna realize like, damn, this person that has been doing all these things for me, wow, I have so much appreciation for them.
Yeah.
You know, like they sacrifice so much for me. And you know, and I just thought that like, wow, you know, I started seeing more things, right? Like, oh wow, you know, like let me help my mom clean. Oh, you're cleaning, mom? Oh, let me do it. You know, let me
Yeah.
wash the dishes for you. You know, like, you know, this must be a lot for you, because now I get to experience it a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
The hard work.
I get to experience the hard work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You feel appreciative of your
Yeah,
mom.
so much appreciated. man.
Mama's boy.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Like who would have thought, you know?
Who
Like
would've
you
thought?
change like a habit and then suddenly like, you know, like
Yeah, you change
you
one
change
habit
your perspective.
and
you
it
know?
changes the perspective.
You
Yeah.
know, like I watched this like video about like a study. Basically, like they said, like you know, when your brain is happy, then you smile, right?
Mhm.
But if you just smile, then your brain will become happy too.
Mm.
So it's like external factor also like impact internal factor. you know?
Right, because we always felt like, oh yeah, of course, you know, like if you change your internal, then the external also changes.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
you know, if you change your external, you know, like you create like a new habit or like you know find a new value to like can like stick to and things like that, like your internal also change, you know, like your perspective change, because you're learning something new, right? You're learning like not only new skills, new values, you know, you're learning like, you know, like literally like to appreciate your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find that so amazing, and something that I wouldn't have realized until I took that first step of becoming vegetarian.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, like obviously this is like, you know, like you talk about like you want to do good for, you know, society, you know, and you know like how like that have like impact your family, you know. What about you though? Like, did you change in any way, you know, like?
Oh, definitely. Like, most definitely. Like, I have like many things I can say to that, but um well, values and skills is one of them, right? So because I had started, you know, to put my mindset into it, being like, okay, you know, I'm going to be vegetarian because there is so many pressing factors into why that's such a better choice for me, for, you know, society, for the animals, for the cows,
For the cows.
you know, for climate change, right? And you know, and then I also like learned some values about like, oh, you know, appreciating my mom, you know, like seeing
Yeah.
her hard work, and recognizing it, just for that, you know, being a better son at the end,
Yeah.
right? Well, I learned also some skills, right? I learned how to cook, right? And I learned to like budget, you know, to be like wiser with my money, because then I was
Yeah,
you know, having
definitely.
to spend my money
Some
to buy the
adulthood
groceries,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Then I had to also like learn some time management, because cooking takes time. I always thought like my mom was just like, she goes into the kitchen, then she comes out with like, you know, these beautiful plates of food, and I was taking like, I don't know, like
An
a whole
hour
hour
to-
to like, you know, cook and prepare and do things, you know, and then
I can be
oh
like,
my god.
I can be I can be like the witness for this, because Ricardo cannot cook, right? And then he doesn't know how to cook. And then he would call me when it's like, you know, it's like what time? Like 7 or 8 p.m. in the US. And it's like only like, you know, 10 a.m. for me when I actually have to go out and do shit, right? And he would call me for like a full hour so that I can like tell him, okay, chop the onion like this, chop the zucchini like this, chop the carrots like this. And then he's like frying, and then I have to like, you know, he has to put the phone over the pan so that I can see the color of
Does he
them.
look ready for you?
So that I can tell, okay, it's not raw, okay, it's cooked and all this thing.
Nice.
And like it would take us like an hour on the call for him to cook, and I'm like, I don't understand why it takes you so long. Like,
I don't know either.
like it takes you a full hour to cook a meal for yourself. Okay, so you know you got some values under
I
your
got some
belt.
values.
You got,
I learned some
you learn
skills.
some appreciation, you know, and you learn some, you know, like you build for yourself. You don't want to take part in the cruelty, you know, and you know you learn some skills, you know, time management. I don't know, to be honest. Think back, I don't know. You manage your time well, like an hour to cook, really,
Yeah.
and you know you learn how to cook. You know, you learn how to budget. That's good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So I would say that the biggest lesson I got from this was independence, right? I was independent. I was cooking for myself. I didn't have to rely on my mother. I was buying my own groceries. Didn't have to rely on other people to, you know, pay for that for me. I didn't feel like a burden anymore. And from that independence, I felt like I gained freedom, right?
Right.
Yeah, so like independence will bring you freedom.
Yeah, I hear you, you know, because I feel like, you know, like from your story, I feel like, you know, you go to a job where you like obviously like depend on your boss, you know, you have to
Yeah,
do,
I have to do what they tell me
yeah,
to do.
like you're bound with these like laws that they
Yeah,
give you, you know, like these rules. You gotta live by like, you know, them, you know, and then, you know, like you gotta pay off your debts, and you gotta like, you know, all these
Yeah.
rules of society of
yeah,
like, you know, like credit cards that you don't pay them and you got like extra charge and all these things, you know,
yeah.
like, you know,
There's-
all these rules.
All these rules.
Like you didn't have like much freedom to do what you love, right?
Exactly. And then in that time that I get to cook, right? Like that one whole hour that I get to try cooking, you know, then, you know, I feel free, right? Like it's something that, you know, nobody's telling me to do this. Like,
You mean me though?
you're
because-
helping me. You have to help me. I have no
I'm
idea.
assaulted.
I have no idea how to cook. But definitely like this brought me so much freedom, so much independence, and with this I was able to
Like
finally feel that release. You
Yeah.
know, finally feel that like, okay, you know what? Like I'm
you're in
not just a
control.
sheep.
Yeah, you're not just a sheep.
I'm not just a cow.
You're not just a cow.
I'm not just a
Exactly.
cow.
You're independent.
I'm
know?
independent. I'm free.
You're in control.
I'm
of
a free cow.
Of what you eat. So you think that independence brings freedom?
Independence definitely will bring you freedom. I mean, that's why I feel so stuck with what I was doing at the moment, because you know I had lost everything. I was so down, but then I was still bound and chained and stuck to like these other things, right? Like feeling like a burden, you know, having other burdens, right?
Like what?
Like
debts?
like debts from you know, like student
College,
loans in
yeah.
college, right? Like credit cards, you know, being a burden for my family, right? Like I wanted to like stop that. You know, we had just moved into a new apartment, so like I also felt like I needed to like contribute, right, and like help them, like, you know,
Pay
get on their
rent.
feet,
Yeah.
right? I definitely like felt like I was bound by all these things. Definitely like not freedom, definitely not independence, right?
Yeah.
So by like changing that little part about myself, being vegetarian, having control of what I eat,
Yeah.
right?
But I have a question, right? So, I mean, like, is it hard work though? Like, you know, you said like, you know, you met with some difficulties, you know.
Yeah,
But it was, you know, but like you did it with by yourself.
I did.
Is it worth it? Like, you know, like.
So much worth it. It's so worth it because once I got a taste of it.
Yeah.
Once I got a taste of like,
Taste of what?
wow, of independence
And
you
freedom.
know? And freedom, you know. With that independence came the freedom. I was like,
ASMR.
you know what? ASMR. This tastes very good. I was like, I want to
You
do
want
more
more,
of
you
this.
want more.
You know, I want to do more of this. You know,
Yeah.
so it was at that point I started to become very determined.
Yeah.
I started to become very determined. I was like, you know, I need to break these bonds. I need to break these like attachments that I have with like these like obligations that I have with all everything that was tying me around, like the loans that we talked about, right? Like having to, you know, to contribute to my family. I wanted to like leave them off well, right?
Yeah.
But not in a way where like they would depend on me,
Yeah.
right?
Like you don't want like others to depend on you.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be a burden.
But I don't want to be a burden either, right?
But
like,
you don't want to be like rude either, you know.
Yeah, I don't
like you
wanna-
want to
yeah.
like just suddenly cut it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that wouldn't
that's
be
not
good.
that's not good either.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like this is not about just like, oh, I'm just gonna cut everything. I'm just gonna cut my friends. You know, like I'm just
Yeah.
gonna like cut everything in my life. No, it's not about that, right?
Yeah.
It's about like leaving things
In good terms.
in good terms.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want to have
yeah.
like regrets, like looking
Exactly.
back, like you were such a cruel person.
Exactly. You don't want to be just like, I'm just not gonna pay my loans anymore. Just like, I'm just gonna leave. You know, like no, right? It's like pay them off. You know, pay off your debt. You know, like pay off your burdens. You know, like stop those burdens that you have, right?
Yeah.
Stop being a burden for others, right? And like, you know, don't make yourself a burden in the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And not like hurting others in the process of leaving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's very
Okay.
true.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah. And it all started with being vegetarian. You
Yeah,
know?
that's great.
And it was such a small thing to change, but like it brought all this change into my
Yeah.
life.
Like I said, like, you know, like obviously like you can see that external factors
External factors
brings internal factors.
brings
to
internal factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we
Nice.
take a little break?
Let's take a little break.
Yeah, let's take a little water break, okay? We'll be back after
be
this
back.
commercial break.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Back.
Back. But
All right.
Are we ducks or cows? You know, like, go decide.
Look, you vote on the comments.
You voting on this. Are we ducks or cows? Okay, let's get back to it. Okay. So, you know, before the break, you know, you were talking about like, you know, the importance of, you know, the connection of independence and freedom, you know, and the connection between, you know, external change causing like internal changes, right?
Yep.
Very interesting stuff, Ricardo. Digging deep like usual.
Digging deep.
Thank you for doing that, you know.
Hey, no problem. You're welcome.
Right. So, what do you think, is the biggest challenge that you face, while like creating this change?
Well, so let me tell you, I did not start being vegetarian right away,
Okay.
right? Like
It wasn't a like overnight
it
sort
wasn't
of thing.
overnight, like okay, this is the decision, and like I'm just like gonna
I'm gonna go into it, and
right?
tomorrow I'm gonna be like a new person.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. So
Yeah.
it was more of a
Of course.
gradual change,
Yeah.
right? It started by me, at work, I wouldn't choose the meat option anymore. I wouldn't choose the ham and cheese croissant, right? Like I would
Yeah.
instead get the veggie panini, right? Like
Oh, the veggie
the veggie panini,
panini.
right?
Get the
Uh,
arugula in there.
yeah, like little things like that, right? Like I was like, okay, this is what I can do, right? And then I would also like think like, okay, I'm gonna tell my mom, hey, can you cook more vegetarian things, right? Like, can you like,
Yeah.
and thankfully I'm Salvadorian, and well, like a lot of Salvadorian food is very vegetarian by default already, like with my frijolitos and my huevitos and my platanitos, right? Like it was like very good, like that's 60% of what all Salvadorans eat all the time. So I was like, okay, it's not so
It was
bad.
it was it was easy.
It was
You
easy,
still you
right?
still get to eat
I guess
your
to enjoy
favorite
my,
food.
my favorite foods, right?
Yeah.
All good. So then, I was just eating, meat every time that my mom would make food for us. I thought like, oh, she already made it for us, so, I should just eat it, might as well, right? And this kept going on for a while.
Yeah.
And I felt like I wasn't advancing anymore. I wasn't
Yeah. Wasn't on
improving.
that role in the beginning.
Yeah, I wasn't on that role from the beginning anymore.
Did you lose a bit of like heat, like passion?
Yeah, I definitely did. Like I wasn't like, oh yeah, like I
Gotta
was just
do
like,
this.
oh, this is
Gotta be a
enough,
new person.
yeah. So I had to get back into it,
Yeah.
but I couldn't.
You got lazy. You
I
think
got
you got
lazy. I got lazy.
Yeah.
I was limiting myself out
Yeah.
of fear that I couldn't change, that I couldn't
Yeah.
let go of everything
Your past self.
of my past self. I couldn't let go of that.
I feel
Couldn't
like
let go for that.
even though your past self was full of suffering, full of sadness, but it was comfortable.
It was comfortable.
Yeah, like
right.
you weren't ready to
Yeah.
like leave that behind.
Yeah, and change takes effort, and I
Yeah.
was lazy.
Yeah, change does take effort. Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you do to like fix this fear?
Well, at the beginning I didn't.
Okay.
At the beginning I just give myself excuses by saying that like, oh well, my mom already made it, and like, okay, this is some change that I'm making already, so
like
like
you did
I don't.
enough already.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is enough, right? But like, you shouldn't always think that it's enough. Like, I wish I could
Yeah.
tell myself that like, hey, like,
Don't settle.
don't settle,
Yeah.
don't just say that like, oh, this is enough, and like, when it comes to yourself, you can say that, what I have is enough, what I have,
Yeah.
in external things, right? But when it comes to your internal values, when it comes to your internal like fortitude,
Yeah.
you shouldn't settle. You shouldn't say like, oh, I'm like good enough already. Like, no,
Yeah.
why are you limiting yourself
Yeah,
like that?
why do you want to be good enough? you know?
Yeah.
Like competent is not it's not a compliment. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So
So you were like covering it up
I
with
was
like
covering it up with
excuses.
excuses. So I had to really look at myself. I really had to like tell myself like, I need to stop this. I need to change. I need to be consistent. I need to be committed.
But how come like how did you like how were you able to look at the truth? How were you able to see that it was fear itself?
I need to help with that.
You need the help.
Yeah.
By me?
By you.
Did I shout at you?
You shot me. She shot at me. But it was already about to be New Year, and I thought, New Year, new me. Hashtag New Year, new me. You know what I mean, right? And I was like, okay, this is perfect time. I know I'm like super cringy and whatever, right? But like, I was like thinking,
You're ready
okay,
to take that leap.
I was ready to take that leap, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
it
hey,
was like a good excuse.
it was a good excuse.
It was a good occasion.
Yeah, and since that moment on, I told myself, okay, from this day on, you stop eating. You make a commitment to yourself. You're gonna be stronger now. You're
You're gonna
You gotta
take that
put in
leap.
that effort.
I'm gonna put in that effort. I can't
don't get
stop
lazy
being lazy.
anymore.
And I won't make excuses anymore. If my mom made food already, I'll be like, oh mom, thank you, you know? Like, but you know, I'll cook for myself. Don't worry. You know, and like she won't feel bad. She's very supportive of me. She's super
Yeah.
supportive of me, right? So like
Yeah.
I know she's not gonna feel bad, right? Like she, you know, she wants me. She wants me to be happy, and she know that like this was making me happy,
Yeah.
right?
You would like chirping in the kitchen.
Tripping.
Chirping like a bird, you know.
Tripping. Yeah. Yeah. So there you
Okay,
have it.
so nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So I want to ask you like, I think that like we've been recording for quite a while now. I
Yeah.
think we should like
Let's
this
wrap
up
it
a
up.
little. Yeah.
Wrap it up.
So I want to ask you like, like what do you want the listeners to live to what do you want the listeners to leave with today? From your experience, from your story, from your change, what do you want people to, take away from it? Like any like advice for your past self, like any like kind of like hey, like I wish you did this or something like that for your past self, that you
Yeah.
want to share.
So if I could tell myself from back in the day,
Like
back
even
from
before that.
even before that,
Yeah.
back from the moments where I started relying on external factors to fulfill my happiness, the moments where I felt like, damn, who am I? Like, what's my identity? Right?
Yeah.
From that moment on, I wish it would have looked at myself in the eyes and tell myself that
Ricardito.
look at your surroundings, right? See what you can change, and make a commitment to yourself to work on it. Try to be better. Do better. I know you have jobs you cannot quit, schools you cannot leave. You have families to make proud. But you can do something more than just sharing woke posts on Instagram. If I can make an impact by literally only changing what I eat, you can too. It's something so simple and accessible for everyone. And actually, honestly, let's be real. It's not about the food
Yeah.
or the animal or the environment or the climate change or, it's not about the world, right? It's about you.
Yeah.
What values do you hold? And if you don't know, you need to start somewhere. You need to do something. And believe me when I tell you that by simply changing what you eat, you'll change as a person.
Yeah.
You change one thing and everything else will follow.
I believe you. I hear
Yeah.
you. Like so, like I what I want to say to our listeners
Mhm.
is that like, like we want to help you, like if this is why we're doing this, we're at a place where we feel really like happy with our lives, we feel like, we're growing and we're still growing, but we're at a point that we can give some values back, and we want to help. And I've been cooking up like this idea for like a vegan weekday program, something like, like we get together, like as a group, and then we can like create like a small group, some of us, that like we're not like actually making the change yet, we're not like vegetarian or vegan or anything like that yet, but like we just take it as a group and support each other, and like share recipes, or like help each other, like make that, you remember when I call you for an hour to help you cook?
Yeah,
do
we
some
all
things
need
like
some
that.
help like
Yeah,
that.
like doing it alone, it's just so
Yeah.
so difficult,
Yeah.
but I believe in like the power of the mass,
Yeah. Seek
know?
support.
Like sticking together,
Yeah.
so I don't know if it's like there's a demand for this program, there's a demand for this like project that I'm cooking up, like vegan weekday. Basically, you don't even have to be vegan, you can be vegetarian, you can just like be like plant-based or whatever you want, right? But every week, during the weekday, you gotta stick to this, like you send photos of what you eat, you share recipe, you can like, it's just like basically a group chat of like, a small group chat of us like sharing like our like meals basically, but you'll feel like you're not alone in this journey, so that's an idea I've been having, do you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a great idea
But-
because I wouldn't have been able to do it without your help.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, because of that, that's how like I came up with this idea. So like like for our listeners, like if you think that this is a good idea, and you want to participate, I'm ready to create this project, but I don't know if there will be like participants, so you know so I hope that you can contact us, or email us, just like reach out in general and let me know, let us know that you're interested.
Yeah,
then I would definitely like create this program.
Nice. Yeah. Just wanna drop our contact info out there.
Yeah.
Right. So if you wanna email us, you can do that at thinkingcube3@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And if you have found us on Instagram already, you know it. But not, what's our Instagram?
It's at thinking.cube.
At thinking.cube.
That's cube. That's cube with CUBE. Okay?
CUBE. Yeah.
Okay.
Cube.
And
Okay.
that's thinking with THINKNG.
Nice.
Spelling bees.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So that is everything for this episode. I hope you go out there and start thinking cube
And living cube.
and living cube.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.